All right, you are Carol Lopez.
Yes.
Ms. Lopez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On March 26, 2025, an officer was dispatched to a crash on Antoine Drive in Orange County, Texas. The officer learned that an unknown party called 911 at the time of the crash. It was informed by another officer who arrived on scene that the observant clinic being treated by inmates. The officer informed the other officer that the defendant had already been transported to receive medical care. After spoke with the will witness, who stated that the defendant.
Whoa, did you catch that? The witness says Carol grabbed a full bottle of vodka and chugged it like water, right after a crash. Now, let's pause. Is that desperation? Panic? Or an attempt to manipulate blood alcohol timing for the test? Let me know in the comments. Why do you think someone would down vodka post-accident, in front of a witness?
The saw and struck the witness's vehicle, causing damage. The witness stated they observed strong odor of alcoholic beverage leading to the defendant, and the witness came in contact with him. The witness stated that the defendant was still in the driver's seat at the time of their interaction, and that it was clear that the defendant was intoxicated. The witness reported that the defendant had slurred speech, was incoherent, and not making sense. The police stated to the witness, "I don't know where I am." The witness reported the defendant being called, and the defendant cell phone crash. And immediately after that call, the defendant grabbed a bottle of vodka and consumed the entire thing in front of the will witness.
What?
Yes, Sherman. That's what happened.
She took a bottle of vodka and consumed an entire bottle of vodka in front of the will witness?
That's what I have here. The will witness noted that the defendant drank the alcohol bottle as if the defendant was drinking water.
Just when you think you've heard it all, man. I mean, really.
The officer observed an empty bottle of toxic vodka, and then went to the hospital to make contact with the defendant. The officer observed the strong odor of alcohol beverage from the defendant, observed that the defendant had slurred speech and glossy eye. The officer read the DIC form for the defendant when the defendant became coherent, and it proceeded to a breath test and blood test. The hospital discharged the defendant, and the defendant was transported to the Joint Processing Center, but was unable to perform the state arrest for sobriety test due to the defendant's failure to follow instructions and to keep the defendant's and the inability of the defendant to keep her head up. The officer took the defendant's failure to follow instructions as a refusal. The officer was unable to get the defendant to stand upright to perform HGN, and due to the physical conditions, the officer did not ask the defendant to perform walking turn or do a stand. The officer concluded, the officer offered the opportunity to provide breath and blood. The defendant declined to provide breath or blood, and the officer proceeded with a residual search warrant for the defendant's blood. The officer was advised, the officer was advised the blood would be ready in 2 to 3 days. The officer noted that that's all I have.
Do you have blood back? Or no?
I do not. I'm not sure if that in the is referring to. The warrant was presented to the hospital, Your Honor, and a nurse advised that with blood, I guess, we're ready for 2 to 3 days. The officer.
Do you have any prior DUIs?
There was one in Caldwell County that was dismissed, Your Honor.
License?
License is. Your Honor?
This is who, Judge?
It's not on docket. I have to give you a case number. You ready?
Yeah.
255-7402.
Thank you.
If you speak English, right?
Yes.
If you have a problem with alcohol or drugs, now is the time for you to address it. Because stop.
I don't care who you are, even if you're a small farm animal. Judge Fleischer is not here to play. That line was more than just drama, it was a legal warning masked in fiery courtroom rhetoric. Judges often give one strong warning like this before locking down conditions. Do you think this tough love style works better than leniency?
There's nothing that you can say at this moment. I'm warning you now, because this is the only one that you're going to get. I will do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. I don't care who you are, what color you are, if you're a small farm animal. If I find that you're using, it's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now is the time for you to try to get any help if you need help, because I don't know you. I've never met you before. All I know is what they're telling me. And if that's in fact true, now is the time for you to address it. I am going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know that you're not consuming alcohol at any time. I will not entertain any excuses like it's mouthwash, it's a tequila lollipop, hair dye. I've heard it all, and excuses mean nothing to me. If you consume, it's not going to go well. Because of all, I don't want you in the car driving. You're not allowed to drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you do, it's really not going to go well for you. I am putting now a restriction on your license that you are not allowed to drive any vehicle that's not equipped with an ignition interlock on it. If you're caught, and I'm sending this notice to DPS, so everybody, every officer in this state knows, if they pull you over and they don't see an interlock, they will take you to jail. Do you understand? And then you and I will have problems. Just don't.
Judge, this is Lopez first,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you said no driving?
Correct.
Thank you.
And then a scran, please.
Yes, Judge.
You have the ability to hire a lawyer, ma'am. We will give you an application. You missed court once. A warrant is now in effect for you because you missed court the first time. I will reinstate your bond now, but this is the only get out of jail free card that you get. If you miss court again, you violate any of these conditions, you will stay with me. And I don't know who you have in this life, but if you don't have anyone to pony up $5,000 to $10,000, you will be stuck like Chuck until this case is over. Do you understand? All right, come up. We'll have you sign this. I need you to fill an application. Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application, and we'll go from there.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you are Said. Is it Said?
Say it, yeah.
Said. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. On April 5th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers observed the defense vehicle going 105 miles an hour on the Northwest Freeway in a 60-mile-an-hour zone. The traffic stop was initiated, and the officer observed the defendant to be the driver and the sole occupant. The defendant was identified by a German identification card. Officer observed bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage from the defendant. The defendant stated he would not answer questions and would not perform standardized fit sobriety tests. A breath test was refused, and the officer observed 3 empty beer bottles and an empty bottle of wine in the defendant's motor vehicle. A blood warrant was obtained, and a blood draw was executed.
Are you trying to tell me that he's consuming while driving?
Does not specify, Your Honor.
Regardless, Mr. Said, you are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid license to drive. Do you understand?
That's right.
All I heard here was a German identification card. If you do not have a
Let's talk real stakes. Here, the judge brings in immigration consequences. That's not just a scare tactic, it's a legal reality. If you're undocumented and get arrested, ICE can detain you during your case. For many, that means months. In custody without resolution. Drop a below if you think our system does enough, or too much when it comes to linking criminal charges and immigration.
license to drive and liability insurance in your name, then you're not allowed to drive, and that is a condition of your bond. If I find that you violate these conditions, then I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bond. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, into jail you will go. No more PR bonds.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission, if your paperwork is not done the right way and you go to jail and immigration finds you, they will put an immigration detainer and you will be stuck like Chuck in there until this case is over with, which could be 6 months, and then you get shipped off to immigration. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No, Your Honor, I'm not allowed to work right now.
Okay, I can have you fill out an application. I need to know everything about you, how much money you have at the bank, how you get money, how kind of cars you have, property, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, IRAs. I'll take a look to see whether they qualify, and then we'll go from there. We'll have you give you an application. I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona, and then we'll have you take your signature box.
You said no driving?
Unless, does he have any kind of,
From what I have, Your Honor, he does not have a license.
I do have a license.
Just
Well,
without insurance and?
with the no driving without a valid license and insurance? Okay, all right. To qualify, you have to be at the poverty threshold to qualify. If you make the kind of money that you make, you don't qualify. This life is not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you spend. Spend too much and you get into a hole, we can't foot the bill for the taxpayers,
Yes, Your Honor.
make good money, which is great, right?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my wife.
Stop. I don't want you to say anything. Just, so we're going to give you time. There's a gajillion and one lawyers out there. It's about you finding the one. It's like buying a car. You don't go, when you're starting off in life, you don't go buy a Lamborghini or a Bentley or a Ferrari. You go to Toyota, Honda, and lawyers, 99% of them will put you on a payment plan as you go. You have to negotiate with them. Don't take them at first blush. There's literally a gajillion and one lawyer, criminal defense lawyers out there. So if you don't find one or one's not willing to negotiate, go to the next one, because there's tons of them out there. Okay. All right. We're going to give you 30 days. Don't wait. There's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI. So don't sit there and, I'm going to wait until 29 days to start looking. You're only hurting yourself. Okay. Okay. Good luck. Oh, I would also probably look for one, the immigration as well, if you're not a citizen of this country. Okay.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Good morning, Mr. White.
Good morning.
You were charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. On April 5th, 2025, in Hughes County, Texas, officer was dispatched in reference to a minor accident call. An officer contacted the defendant, who was standing next to his motor vehicle. Then the officer arrived. The defendant stated he drank a total of 5 beers that day. The defendant stated he last drank 30 minutes before the accident. Strong odor of an alcoholic beverage was emitting from the vehicle, and the defendant was transported to the hospital to treat injuries. The defendant was stated he was scared to blow and fail the test. DSC was read, and the defendant eventually submitted to the breath test and blew .091.
So there's an accident.
Yes, Your Honor.
I guess they took him to the hospital. They didn't do field to ride tests. It just,
Yes, Your Honor. If I just at the moment, I'm trying to clarify here in the DEMS.
don't. Please.
An accident, the officers find the defendant standing outside of the truck.
Alone?
So, Your Honor. And then stated he was following someone and looking at his GPS because he wasn't familiar with the area and was unaware that cars were parked on the side of the street. The defendant said that he had been drinking throughout the day. Total of 5 beers, and the last one was 30 minutes prior. Officers observed a strong odor of alcoholic beverages from the vehicle. EMS was called to the scene because the defendant had a gash on his chin. He was then transported to the hospital to be checked out. After being released from the hospital, the officers asked him to consent to a breath test. And the defendant said he was scared to blow because he knows he just finished a beer and knew he was going to fail the test. The defendant then agreed to blowing once they got to JPC, and the defendant.
So they took him directly from the hospital to the JPC.
Retro.
Okay. Mr. White, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. Do not consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, it's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Can you Prior DWIs and a license, please.
Yes, sir.
It's a true first and the license is eligible.
Great. Unless you have liability insurance in your name as well, you're not allowed to drive. Do you understand? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir?
I'm not sure yet. I can make a phone call and see if he'll take my case. If not, I'm gonna need a court
Look,
appointment.
I can give you time. Just, time is of the essence. This is the DWI, so don't sit there and wait a month, 2 months, because you're only hurting yourself.
I can go make the phone call right now.
No. Don't do anything. I will give you time. You don't need to run out, rush now, but I'm saying don't sit there, wait a week or two, because you're only hurting yourself. So, what I can have you do is sign a reset with Ramona. I'll have you get Felicia for your bond conditions. After that, you're free to go. Don't use. Do you understand?
Yeah, so if I understand, you're just gonna reset it and that's gonna give me time to either get a lawyer or y'all gonna appoint one?
Right, so.
I'll have to come back and do the same thing I'm doing now?
Have trouble, come back in the next setting and then we can talk.
Come back in the next
reset date, yeah.
set. Okay, so I will have to come
We're
back
gonna
to
give you
court.
30 days from today. So we're gonna give you a lot of time. If you still have issues, come back and we can
I
talk.
was just kind of hoping I have to come back to court.
I wish I had hair. Ain't gonna happen. Well, maybe I get an implant. Good morning, Mr. Valeria. So you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one.
On April 6th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer received a call to assist the department regarding a driver passed out in a drive-through of a Burger King restaurant. The firefighter told the officer he saw the defendant passed out behind the wheel, the engine still running, and the key in the ignition. Firefighter woke the driver up, and eventually when the officer came on scene, he identified the defendant by his Texas driver's license. The officer noticed the strong odor of alcoholic beverage, glossy bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and unsteady balance from the defendant. The defendant also appeared confused. The defendant stated he left Bango's bar and where he had one Corona beer. The officer conducted standardized first sobriety test where he witnessed 6 out of 6 clues on the HDN test, 6 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and then read the DIC form. The defendant refused. A blood warrant was signed and blood draws.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that there is sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand? Do you have any prior DWIs and a license?
And the license is eligible.
Okay, you're not allowed to drive unless you also have valid liability insurance in your name. That is a condition of your bond as well. Do you understand? No alcohol, no illegal drugs. Do not pick up any new cases, otherwise you will go back to jail. I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona. We'll have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and after that, you guys are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Guys, Mr. Snowden?
Good morning, Mr. Carlton. So you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. On April 5th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a person down call and made contact with a witness, a law enforcement officer who stated that they found the defendant asleep behind the wheel of a vehicle that had rolled onto the median of the road. The vehicle was running but not moving when they found the vehicle. The well witness woke the defendant up and placed the defendant in the back of their patrol car. I should specify the well witness was the law enforcement officer. Law enforcement officer made contact with the defendant who was slurring his words and had dilated pupils. The defendant admitted to drinking 2 beers at a restaurant, and the defendant was presented with a DIC form that refused to sign it. Standardized sobriety test was later conducted, and the law enforcement officer observed 6 out of 6 clues on the HDN, 4 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 0 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The defendant eventually consented to a breath test in blue .063 and .064.
Mr. Carlton, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. If I find that you're using, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Can you see if he has any prior DWIs And then if he has a valid license, please.
Yes. His license is not eligible, Your Honor, and no prior age.
Okay. You are not allowed to drive. I don't care what you have to do in this life. I don't care if there's a burning building and you have to say 50 kids, do not drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will be signing an affidavit with me today. This is a promise you're going to make to me. You can't justify getting into a car for any reason. If you do, I can have a contempt hearing. You could be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, Mr. Carlton? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to give you time to go hire a lawyer. I will have you first come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I will get you to Ramona where we will have you sign a reset. You will get with Felicia for your bond condition where you promise us you're not going to use.
Sure.
Don't pick up any new cases. Don't be a danger to my city. Do you understand?
Sure.
Okay,
Gotcha.
come on. Speak English, sir.
Yes, English.
Mr. Castro, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On April 3rd, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer computed information about a street takeover event and went to the location that was put on social media. The law enforcement officers conducted surveillance on the location in an unmarked vehicle and witnessed a vehicle making donuts and get within close proximity of several parked occupied vehicles. Law enforcement officer initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle and detained the defendant, the driver of the vehicle making donuts.
Any prior reckless driving cases, and then can you see if he has a license, please?
There are no prior reckless driving cases, Judge. There was a DWI and the evading of being brought for Dalton County. Just
At Hidalgo?
addition.
Okay, anything else?
And driver.
Okay. Mr. Castro, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now not to participate in this activity anymore or drive recklessly, maniacally. If I find that you do, the first thing I'm going to do is put you in jail. And the next thing is I will take your ability to drive away from you while this case is open. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Living in a city as big as Houston without the ability to drive blows. Not only that, people who participate in these types of activities, cops and DA's office can seize and take your car away from you permanently. And I've seen it happen on multiple occasions where people lose their $100,000 car because they. Do you understand?
Sir.
You put bond conditions, no donuts, street takeovers, reckless driving, racing, etc., please. Mr. Castro, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes.
We're going to give you time. So I'll have you go to Ramona, sign a reset. After that, I'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. Do not leave until you sign the bond conditions. After that, we'll let you go. When you come back, please have a lawyer.
Judge, I apologize. Did you say no driving or just no reckless?
No reckless driving, donuts, street takeovers, racing. And all that. Hey, Sheikah Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Man, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000. You're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. But you're right to remain present if you cannot afford one.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. On March 26, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a disturbance call. The officer met with the complaining witness who stated that the defendant is from roommate. The complaining witness stated that they got into an argument over a broom and the defendant struck her on the head with the broom, causing pain. The officer observed a raised bump on the complaining witness's head that was starting to become discolored.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with this complaining witness. You're also ordered not to be in possession of weapons. If you violate this order, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand, ma'am?
No, sir.
There is There's a protective order that has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate the protective order, they can file additional charges against you, a violation of a protective order, and that is the capital murder of misdemeanors. Do you understand? It's one of the worst cases you can pick up. So don't violate the protective order.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay. Would you like, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No.
Okay. I can appoint you a lawyer to, or I can have you fill out an application. Let me see if you filled one out first. Hold on. I have an application on file already. I have one on file. So what I can do is I can appoint you a lawyer today. We're going to create bond conditions for you. Do not leave until you sign those bond conditions. Otherwise, I'll issue a warrant. The bond conditions, no contact, no weapons.
Okay.
All right. For now, I'll have you go to Ramona, sign a reset, and then we'll have you take your seat in the jury box.
Okay.